Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 517. If you're writing a book or thinking about writing a book or trying to finish a book you've started to write, you are in the right place. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh, also known as Christine Inc., I-N-K, especially on social media. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 19 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they have the ability to turn a quote-unquote non-author into a published one. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. Here's today's quote. "It is only by imitating the vices of others that I have earned my misfortunes." Marquis de Sade. Once again, good morning, happy Thursday, and I have a question for you. How do you handle unfamiliar territory? For instance, if you decide to write a book but are unfamiliar with that world of books and writing books and publishing, where do you start? Now, as a naturally social creature, perhaps you might begin by having casual conversations with people you know who are already published authors. You'll ask about your friends' experiences and get their advice on where to start. From there, you might be referred outside your own social circles to even more additional published authors and resources. Soon you might find yourself swimming in a pool of details and maybe even conflicting recommendations, referrals, and all sorts of unfamiliar terminology and concepts. So how do you know which information you can trust, and more importantly, which information is right for your book project? After all, the criteria that I've seen in these interactions is usually, you published a book, right? How did you do it? Nothing wrong with that, but need to narrow it down from there. Some on social media, they use the same investigative research method I've noticed to diagnose and treat mysterious illness, to find someone to manage their money, and sometimes even find a spouse. You're married, right? How did you do it? This method of research has the source of the information well covered. We trust our friends first, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, when it comes to making costly business decisions in unfamiliar territory, wouldn't it also make sense to take a step beyond the who and also get details on the what, the results? It's all well and good to go and ask for advice from someone who has traversed the path to becoming a published author, but aren't you also interested in their results beyond number one Amazon bestselling author, which so many are these days? Sure, publishing results can be hit or miss, especially in the world of self-publishing, especially if your last name isn't, Gladwell or Grisham. But there's still a basic set of questions you can ask to determine whether you want to follow in someone else's publishing footsteps. So I have 6 questions here that you can ask to kind of narrow down who you might be speaking to. It might be a better decision for you to speak to someone that's a better fit for your goals. So 6 questions to ask to determine whether you want to follow in a particular person's publishing footsteps. Number 1, did you self-publish, use a traditional publisher, or go with a hybrid publisher? Those are the ones that are combinations of traditional and self. Number 2, what were your initial goals for your book that guided that decision? Number 3, how did you narrow down your list of potential publishers, including self-publishing and indie houses? Number 4, what was the number one factor in making your ultimate selection? Now, factors might include speed of publishing, lowest upfront investment, most all-inclusive publishing services, best customer service and project management, maybe the distribution options appeal to them, or best marketing support. What was the number one factor they used in making their selection? And again, you're looking at these questions saying, do these match my goals? Because if you're asking another author these questions and they're answering in ways where it's like, okay, that's actually not what I'm trying to do, maybe that's not your best resource. That's my point here. Question number 5, what obstacles did you encounter along the way, and was your publisher able to handle them, or did you need to hire an outside consultant? There's that investment part again. Number 6, what were the greatest lessons you learned from publishing your book? What would you do differently next time? Those are just great all-purpose questions. Isn't the investment and success of your book worth a thorough investigation that goes well beyond the source all the way to the results? When in doubt, Why not consult with an experienced publishing professional first to remove the costly guesswork of just going around and talking to random authors? Create a path to published, as I call it, that makes sense for you. And speaking of those experienced publishing professionals, we got a whole bunch of them in my Inc. Authors group on Facebook. Really phenomenal resources. Publishers, publicists, marketing folks, cover designers, all kinds of professionals in the publishing industry. So Inc. Authors is so much more than just authors. I know there's a lot of groups on Facebook that are, all authors, all writers. Inc. Authors, I make a very concerted effort to make sure it's a mix, and it's a great group. There's always just very great spirit of generosity and kindness, and, people are helping each other. So just, it's one of those like non-toxic groups, like really, really happy, productive group. Inc. Authors on Facebook. And again, it's a mix of authors as well as publishing professionals. Really, my goal is to help you get your book done, however I can do that. That's why this group exists. So I hope you will stop by. Thank you for joining me here on Your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you, to the best of my ability, write and finish writing an awesome book. Until tomorrow, happy writing.